Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Factorio. Today we are hopefully going to finish building all of our various different belts. We've got simple belts already being made elsewhere in the factory, so what we're going to sort of build here is the red belts and the blue belts and then all of the bits that go with it. But I was thinking at the end of yesterday's episode, or last week's episode, that I didn't really want the setup to stay like this. We're going to do it slightly different, I think, having sort of thought about it a little bit. In my own time, I have actually been playing a little bit more of Factorio. I haven't played on this map. I'm leaving this map for this playthrough now. But no, what I did do was, I'm just coming, oh, we've actually got the rocket is ready. The rocket is ready to go. Ideal. Yeah, what I did do was I was looking at starting another playthrough. Now, there are a couple of different ones that you can use. There is one called Water World, where you just have a tiny island, and you have Bob's Mods and Angels, and super complicated and complex, and you kind of just expand out from there. So I sort of considered, you know, maybe I could do a new playthrough with something like that running. And then I also considered doing... starting a new one as well as another one that I looked at, doing a rail world and having the biters on attacking. So we've also got to take those into account because this is on peaceful. So it's some ideas of things that I might do in the future with this game if you want me to keep going with my playthroughs on this. I, for one, am particularly enjoying playing this game. I really do enjoy it. So we have a rocket ready to launch, but we don't have a satellite. We need to build a satellite. So in order to build a satellite, you need some stuff. What stuff do we need? We need stuff. Stuff is the technical term. Personal laser defense, discharge defense. Where is it? Defender capsules. There's got to be a satellite here somewhere. Maybe it's down. Is it down here? Radar, rocket silo, laser turret, and gun turret. You know, I really thought that it was right here. Defender. No, it's not those. It's not those. Personal. I really thought it was here in the military stuff. Okay, maybe it's not. Maybe it's over in this one. It is over in this one. There is the satellite right there. That needs 6 separate items. And how many can you have in a yellow factory? This one here, oh, it can put in up to 6. So you can actually request all of these items for this one, and you can have it built into a factory. So what we do is we'll put this factory right down here like this, and we will put a inserter going into that one, and we will build a requester chest right there. Then we need to make some requests. So I'm going to look in here. I actually got to remember what the different things is that we need. So we need 50 rocket fuel in here first. So let's just request 50 rocket fuel. That's easy enough. That is that one there. And I want 50 of those. Then I want... rocket control. 100 processing units and 5 radars. I don't actually have anything making radars at the moment, but I need 100 of those, and I need 5 radars. Those are over here. So I need 5 of those, not 50, just 5. Then I need... and I want to go back. So we want... crumbs. We need 100 accumulators and 100 solar panels, and I don't think I've got anything making either of those things either at the moment. So that is another thing that we're going to have to set being built. So I need 100 of those, like that, and I also need 100 accumulators. I think I do actually have accumulators being made. I think it's just the solar panels that I don't currently have being made. And so then finally we want 100 low density structures, and we do have low density structures being made, and that is in this section. There they are. So I want 100 of those there. Right, that will make the rocket. So yes, we do have accumulators being made. I've got a factory somewhere making those. I don't actually remember where it is, so let's go and find that factory a minute and see where it is and what it's doing at the moment. That is timber and other bits and pieces there. We've got belts being made over there and robots. We've got engine units. Got another thing doing electric engine units elsewhere. That one there is... what is that actually making? It's making steam turbines. Right, so we've got steam turbines being made. I've got these here. Heat exchangers being made, and then this is the heat pipes. That's being made there as well. This one is making the accumulators, and I'm pretty sure that the accumulators, yeah, they're set on 50, so I'm actually going to change that constant now. I'm actually going to move that all the way up to 200 for the constant for that one, because the amount that we're going through is quite high. We're going to be wanting these for the rocket. So it's the batteries now, and that's the next bit, as I need to go and check where batteries are being made, how many we're actually producing. Up here I'm producing sulfur and sulfuric acid, but I don't have a battery manufacturing plant there. So that leads me to believe that this is the only point where I'm making manufacturing batteries, is right here. And that's not actually running very fast. It's running quite slowly, to be fair. And if we look in our battery chest down here, I mean, it's pretty close to full. So at the moment it does seem to be okay, but we may need to come back and sort of tweak that one. So we've got the accumulators, they're being dealt with. It's only solar panels, and we don't have solar panels. I went, and the reason I made accumulators was because I've built an accumulator field further down. Where did I put that? I put that all the way down through here. This is mostly red and green circuits over this side. But we do have an accumulator field over here. I got a whole load of them that I was spreading out down there, just as like a backup to our main power supply, so that we've got some reserve should we need it, if we have like a surge of power being devoured. And you look at all of our robots here, this looks insane. We've got 4,000 robots currently sat in storage. They're not being used, so we're not using a vast quantity of robots at the moment. It's mostly down to the trains coming in and out. They're supplying us with plenty. So where did I put those accumulators? I've lost the accumulators now. I need to go back and find them if I can. Mainly because... oh, there they are. Right, so we've got the accumulators, and we've also got roboports here. These are... yeah, they're full, but I think the actual one here, yeah, that's on 100, so that one's close to max. But no, what we don't have is anything making solar panels, and those require steel, electronic circuits, and copper plate. So this might start to drain the system a little bit. We're only going to use one factory to make this, because we don't actually need any more solar panels. I'm not planning to use solar panels as an input source for any power, so I'm not too concerned about using that. We're going to go with the logistics network here. I'm going to connect, and I'm going to set solar panels as my... actually, no. Yeah, solar panels as my condition for the circuit. And there's the solar panel. And then it's going to be less than or equal to... when the total number is less than or equal to 200 solar panels, then this one will operate, and it will build more solar panels. See this one over here, this one is set to less than or equal to 200 now. So in order to build these, we want that one in there. We're going to need 5 steel plate, 5 copper plate, and 15 electronic circuits. So I'm going to go, as it's 5, if I do times 20, that would be 100. So I want 100 copper as well, which means I'm going to want 300 of electronic circuits. There, 300. I actually want a stack inserter to be able to move everything fast enough from that chest into the factory. So if I set that to a stack inserter, that is going to now move everything in fast enough. We're just waiting on some copper plates. There they go. They're bringing them in right now. And that's everything brought in. So now I can't use productivity modules on this one. So I can stick the speed module straight in here, and I don't need to worry about any extra boosts. That is just going absolutely flat out at the moment. That's pretty good. That's pretty speedy there. I don't think that anything else is going to be able to keep up with it. But I'll tell you what, we will actually put a beacon down as well, and we'll boost that out even further. I'll put 2 of these in, and we will also just drop a power cable down there. Right, so now they're going even faster still. They got 5 effect sources. There's 4 in there, plus the 1 effect source on there. And that is giving a crafting speed of plus 250%. Look at this thing. It's going absolutely nuts. It's absolutely pounding those through, which is brilliant. That's exactly what we want. We do have plenty of green circuits in our whole setup here. We've got 162,000 green circuits. We're producing plenty of them. What we don't have is we've got a surplus of copper plates, we've got a surplus of copper wire. We don't have a surplus of iron plates currently, we don't have a surplus of red circuits. Those two are also, we don't have a surplus of copper ore or iron ore, although we're not going to with iron ore because we're sort of forcing it into the system. We've got plenty of coal. We need more iron. We're going to have to worry about iron very soon. It's something that we're going to have to start prioritizing fairly soon. So we'll start working on it. They are, yeah, all of these are now bringing out, all of the iron ore in all of these miners up here is all being taken. Right, so we've got these here. They're now bringing everything up. We've got, if we look in here, we've got all 100 of those. The processing units are on their way. All of the rocket fuel is here. The low density is here. Accumulators are here. We're waiting on those. We also need to make some radars. That's one other factory that we've got to start building. So if we just run down through this lot here, back over here. Because, again, radars is kind of a one-off thing. We're not going to need very many of those either. So I don't need to worry about producing hundreds of them. So I'm going to drop the radar manufacturing point right there. And I'm going to give it a little bit of power. We'll just drop one of those in. So everything has got power. If I just move out of the way, it can drop that one down. And then go to here. So a radar actually only needs 5 electronics, 5 iron gear wheels, 10 iron plates. I'm not going to make very many of these. I'm going to use this with a standard one of these. I'm going to go into the logistics network. And we go for a radar there. And then we go less than or equal to, and we're only going to make 50 of these. We're not going to make very many. So we've got 50 of them. We can use them if we need them, but at the moment we don't need to worry about any more than that. So what was it we needed? We want iron gear wheels, iron plates, and electronic circuits. Easy enough to get. Iron plate, iron gear wheel, and electronic circuits. And I think it's in that kind of quantity as well. No, it's not. It's 5 of each. I actually want to just change those around. That one I want to move down to 100, and that one I want to move up to 200. There. So I know that I'm storing a lot of stuff in the requester chest. It can't be used anywhere else in a circuit, but in the grand scheme of things, a stack of 200 or a stack of 100 is not a great deal, and it acts as a really good buffer for each of the factories that are running. So we've got this one here. It's now running. As soon as it can feed in everything that it needs, slowly feeds all of this up through, and then it will make some more. And then once we've accumulated a few more in there, the robots will stop taking it all away. So let me go racing up through here a minute and back over to this one. How are we doing? So we're now up to, we've got 92 solar panels. We've got 2 radars in here at the moment. We are simply waiting on processing units. That is the only point now that we're waiting on. And those processing units are also the reason that we don't have very many red circuits in our whole network at the moment. If you look here, 2,000 I've said of those in storage, but we don't have any spare at the moment, and it's down to red circuits. So really, we want to be increasing red circuit production, which in turn means we need to increase green circuit production, and for that we're going to need more copper and more iron. So we still need more trains coming in. This is the constant drain. This is, as you expand, you've got to get more and more resources pouring into your base. And you've got to be able to keep up and process everything. So this is our big thing at the moment, is we need to be able to get these processing units. I don't actually have any on me personally. There is one way that I can speed this up. I can actually go into here. I've only got 10 requested here. That is what's using a large quantity of them. These are being built, and it's slowly filling up that chest. So once that chest is full, it will sort of slow it down a little bit. But it's not going to do it a great deal. So we need to go over here, and then if I look in here, I do have some that I could grab. So I could steal a few of these. I could go along, and I could steal... no, not those. I want to steal them straight out of the chest there. I can do this. I can just go along and rob a few, just so that we can speed this up, because I'd like to get this rocket launched. We've been waiting a long time for this rocket to be launched. I think it'd be very, very cool to be able to actually launch it. So there's 59. I think I just want one more. And take that, so that's 69. Yeah, we've got more than 30 at the moment, so let me run back up through here. There we go. Right, so those are all running. We've got 45 in there now, so I'm going to drop all of those in. We've got more than our 100, and we've also got our 100 solar panels. We've got all the items here plus our 5 radars. Everything is there. That's all ready. That's ready to go. Brilliant. So we're making progress. So then all we want to do is we want to put that one over in there like that. And we go in here and we want to order this to make a satellite. Just one satellite. That's it. I'll then take power and I'll drop that power cable right there. It's going to start feeding everything in. It's quite slow to feed it all in. However, being slow like this is not really going to hold us. Right now, it's a little bit of a nuisance. It's going to be a pain to watch it, so we could swap it over for a stack inserter. But once we've built the first one, by the time it goes through to completing the second rocket, this will be done. So we don't need a bigger one. So I'm just sort of saying for like later on when you build it will try to put 200. It will try to put double what you need in there. So I'm going to grab that one and I'm going to swivel that. And I'm going to put a stack inserter, and then if you take a look, it's now pumping in 10 per stack. Because of our inserter capacity bonus that we've managed to accumulate so far, we now throw 10 items per stack whenever we're using our stack inserters. So it's slowly filling up all these. It's now going to work on the processing units, and it will keep going back to these other ones as the robots are feeding everything in. And there we go. We have made one. There's one there, and that immediately dropped it into here. That is in the inventory there. It won't do any more. So we can auto launch with cargo. So what we can do is we can automate this whole thing. We can put a whole load of these around here, and every time that we reach the full cargo limit, it will then auto launch. I don't actually want it to auto launch at the moment. I'm just going to launch it because this is our first time. And I want to see how we're supposed to deal with the new science that we're going to get back from this. So are you ready? This is it. We are going to launch our rocket. There we go. This is so cool. I love this. I really do. Zoom right out. And the rocket is being launched. Ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff. That is fantastic. Okay, so we've launched our first rocket. Game finished. Smoke me a kipper. I'll be back for breakfast. Brilliant. And we're going to continue with this one. So, if you look up here, toggle rocket silo frame, satellite sent 1. And it's all down to the satellites. I don't know how you get back the... this is as far out as I can go. If I look here, there, we've already got rocket result inventory. We've got 1,000 space science packs in there. So if I go from there, I think what I want to do, actually, I'm going to go... Let me just put a regular chest down for a moment, and I'll drop that one in there, and I'll take that one. That's 1,000. I'm going to want a stack inserter on that. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Let me drop that one there, actually. Oh. Pick up the steel chest, and take that one, drop it in there. There we go. I got a space science pack on me. And if you look in here, it's dropping them in 10 at a time. So it will drop them in pretty quick. And that will empty that one out. And then as soon as we get the rocket result inventory back, as soon as this one is done, this one will build the next rocket. But it's going to take a while because it's waiting on processing units. And it's waiting on more low density structures. Plus this here. I mean, we're already on 7% for this rocket. So it's going to take a little while. As soon as that is empty, I think you can actually get 2 of them, and it waits for this space science pack to empty out before you put the next one in. But we now have space science, which means that we can then move on. If we look in here, the inserter capacity bonus, that is it for that one. But if you look down here to the infinite, worker robot speed. Now, space science packs, 5,000 for the first one. That's just the first one. Now remember, I do have this on quite expensive settings. I think I did ×5 on this one. The rail world that I took a look at doing, I was going to go ×10. Super expensive settings for everything. Just because it means that you've got to process a lot more materials, and I quite like that idea. I like that challenge that it presents. And it is quite a severe challenge as well. So yeah, 5,000 of those, which means we're going to need a couple of rockets launched, because we only get 1,000 for each rocket launch. And there we go, that's everything's empty there. And now we've got to wait until rocket is built once more. That's that bit done. I'm going to leave that one exactly as it is for now, and we can come back to that one in another few episodes time. So our next task is we're going to finish building our weave in and out of there a little bit. There we go. And on down here. There we go. We want to set all of this up properly this time. And I'm not happy with how I did it. I don't think I planned this out very well. I've got an assembling machine here that is making these, which is then making these, which is then making these. I don't think I've done this the right way. I need 20 iron gear wheels in order to make this work properly. I just don't think this is the actual way to do it. I think what I need is I need to be bringing iron gear wheels in with robots rather than manufacturing them here on site. I don't think this can do it fast enough. So as I'm not happy with the majority of what I got here, I'm going to rip it all up. I will just keep this bit here. Actually, I'm not even going to keep that. I'm going to destroy all of this. What I will do is I take my red print here and lift everything. Lift that whole lot, bring it all into my... I don't have enough belt space. I'm going to drop the lubricant barrels into the trash slots, because I don't want to be carrying those. They can be taken away by the various robots. Those I will use up in a minute. And I've got batteries that I don't want here at the moment. What else have I got? I must have something. Why have I got 200 batteries on me? I'm not actually sure why I've got 200 batteries on me. And I also want to get rid of these, but you can't shift-click these to get rid of them, which does make it a little bit of a nuisance. So let's just drop those manually in there like that. That's given me a little bit of space. Okay, so I've cleared everything out I don't want to hold at the moment, and we can go back to starting this from scratch. So we're going to go for a... We've got yellow belts being made. We know that we got those being made. So I'm going to bring this on over like this, and it's going to make 4 of these. These are going to go for just the red belts, and we go on to those. So fast transport belts. If I go like that, you shift right click and then you shift left click to place everything over. Then I'm going to go onto here and I'm going to set the logistic connection on this one. We're going to set our condition as the fast transport belt less than or equal to 2,000. I want 2,000 of these belts in our system at all times. So there we go. I'll do that, and then I shift right and then left and left and left on there. So I've got the conditions set, and then I can go into here. So this one requires iron gear wheel and transport belt. I need 5 gear wheels and 1 transport belt. So if I go for 50 and... No, I will go for 100 iron gear wheels and 20 transport belts. We'll see how that works out. You know what? I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go transport belts, and I'm just going to click on it. So that's 100, which means I would really want 500 iron gear wheels in order to keep the ratios. So let's do it. Let's go for 500. That is an awful lot of iron gear wheels, but once they're in there... See, it looks like a huge amount to start with. It's a massive influx to go in, but then that acts as a buffer zone. And yes, you've got 2,000 iron gear wheels right there that you can't use, but they are actually being removed from the whole system. If I look up here, they're actually removed completely from the logistics network. It's not counted as being part of the logistics network if it's inside the requested chest there. So it's not a problem. Or at least I think that's how it works. I'm hoping that's how it works, because if it doesn't, I've got this really horribly wrong. So we will copy those conditions into those other 3 chests, and that is all good to go. So all we need now is a power supply, and I will use my favorite power supply, which is a substation. And if I dump that one down there, that gives power to everything. The whole shebang, it all has power. Now I can't actually use the productivity modules on there, which is a bit of a shame. So because I can't use those on there, I'm going to end up using I probably won't use any at all. So that should now all be running. Except that we've already got more than 2,000. Because this here, it enables if it's 2,000 or less, we've already got 2,000 of these in the system. If I look down here, I've got 5.2 thousand in the system. I'm actually thinking that I'm going to change that condition to 5,000 rather than 2,000, just because we want to make a whole load of them. So if I right click and then I left click through these as well, they should all now be... Nope, still, I've done that wrong. You're on 5,000. I did control. Oh, shift right click. Is that it? Yeah, shift right click and then shift left click. I was pressing control. Did that wrong. And then we go, yeah, right. So now they're on 5,000. They're still not going to go because we've got 5.2 thousand. If you can see there over on the right hand side, you may be able to make it out, you may not. It's the third row down, second in from the right. It says 5.2k with our red belts. So we've got those there being made. So then the next item that I want to be made is, now this is a passive provider chest. We could just take straight from the passive provider, but I don't want to. I want to take, sort of move on down to the next section. So what I want next is I need fast underground belts and I want fast splitters. That's easy enough to make. But in order to get those, I'm going to need everything else in place first. I don't have anything making underground belts. I don't have anything making normal splitters. So those are the ones that we're going to make first. I'm going to move over to this side. I'm going to set 2 factories making each of them. I'm going to set 2 here, like that, and I'm going to leave a gap, and I'm going to set 2 here. So we're going to take, this one here is going to make the underground belts, and so is this one, and then this one over here is going to make the splitters, and we do that and that. So we need these to be made in order to do the next section. So splitters require 4 transport belts, 5 iron plates, 5 electronic circuits. So if I went, I want to get enough, but I don't want to be overdoing it. So I would say 80 and 100 of each for here. So we'll go into here, and I go belts. So I only want 80 of those, and then I want iron plates. There, I want 100, and here I want the electronic circuits, and I want those to be 100 as well. That is right, isn't it? Yes. So we've got 80, 100, and 100. So if I just copy that and... Oop. Okay, I did that completely wrong. Did I? Right, I want to right-click on that one, and then left-click on that one over there, and that will copy it in. So that will fill those 2. So then I go back over to this one, and I want 5 transport belts, 100 iron plates. So for this, I'm going to put in... did I? Yeah, 110. 10 iron plate and 5 transport belts. So if I go for 50 transport belts and 100 iron plates, that's enough to make 10 of each, but I'm actually going to do double that. I didn't use, when I first started doing this, I wasn't putting these massive buffers in, and so they end up being starved. But if you can get it to work with these buffers in like this, it works really, really well. So then I want to go in here, and now I need to set the stack conditions. And this one is for the underground belts, so I'm going to take that one, and it's going to be less than or equal to, and we're going to go underground belts are going to be set at 1,000. So it's not loads, but it's enough to supply the whole factory. Everything that I could need when I'm sort of pumping these out to produce elsewhere. So that's that condition set, and then I can go in here and I can do the same one in here. And we're going to go there. We're going to take these splitters, and that is going to be less than or equal to, again, is going to be 1,000. And once I've built 1,000 of them, then I don't need to worry about it. I've got everything that I need. I've got the buffer zone. I've got absolutely every single material that I could possibly want to make this whole system work. So I'm going to drop in one of those right there, and I'm going to join that up with another power cable. Let's just take a small one. It's not actually going to work, is it? There we go. Now it's working. Right, those are now operative. They are fully operational. And that is just going to keep pumping those through. So we don't need to worry about the red ones at the moment. They're not an issue. So the next thing that we want, I'm only going to be doing 2 factories of each of these for the red ones as well. So I'm going to put the red ones directly below. And we're going to go like this, here, and then there like that. So... this side here is going to be fast underground belt, and the same again, and then this one over here is going to be the splitters, and one there as well. So we've got the splitters and we've got the underground belts. Those are going to run quite easily, and I will set the conditions on these. So we go to connect, tick that one, and I want the fast underground belt, and that one again is going to be 1,000. Move that up through, and we set. There we go. So if I right click and then copy onto there, I'm actually going to copy that onto those 2 as well, and then I'm just going to change this one over to that one. It's a little bit quicker. Change that one as well over to that one. So I've set the conditions on those, and now all I've got to do is load this. So what we need for this one to work is I need 40 iron gear wheels and 2 underground belts. So if I set it to 20 underground belts, which is times 10, and 400 iron gear wheels, that should be about right. So I want to go in here and I want to set iron gear wheels. I'll set 400 of those, and then I want to set these underground belts. So I need those and 50. I think that's about right. 2 to make, no, 20. I only need 20 of those. I'm going to set it on 50. I think that'll be all right. And we've got 400 of those coming in. That should be about right. Actually, I think we'll set that up to 500 just to be on the safe side. And these here, they can actually be lower. It doesn't really matter. I think 50 is nothing really. It's a tiny stack. So if I right click and then copy onto there, that'll do exactly the same there. And then over this side, I'm looking and I need to get 1 splitter, 10 gear wheels, 10 electronic circuits. So if I go for 200 gear wheels and 200 of the other, 200 electronic circuits, I'll take 200 of those. And I will take 200 of those, and then I need 1 splitter, wasn't it? It should be, yeah, 1 splitter. So that one, oops, I'm going to go there. And that one is only one. I'm going to take 20 splitters as my request, which is that one. 50 is too many, so we'll drop that down to 20. So we've got times 10 on there, and then I can right-click and copy it onto there. So that is all set and ready to go. So now I've got the red and yellow belts and splitters and underground belts. They're all fully operational. We've got no issues with them. I'll drop in a power supply right there. Okay, that's the easy bit. So now we got to get the blue belts set up. So first things first with the blue belts, I need to decide how I'm going to lay it out, because it's not just going to be as simple as that one up there. I'm going to drop it down here so that it is ready. We can start sort of deciding how we're going to do this. But I think what we're going to need to do is we're going to put like a gap in between them so that we can run some pipes through. If I put that one like that and do that again, so we've got a gap of 5 in between, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. Okay, so I've got 4 of those set up, and then over here I'm going to set up another one. I'm going to do it like that there. Now this one here, this one is going to take and empty out lubricant. So we're going to empty lubricant barrel into this one. And I want to rotate that round there. Then this one here is going to be changed to a active provider chest. So the barrels coming into that one are going to be forced out. Then we don't need to set any conditions on the inserters. The condition is simply on the amount of lubricant that is in there. So we want that to be full. However, I will put in some of these because I want this to run as fast as it possibly can to keep up with production, just in case we need lots of production. Then I need, now this is the thing, you put the lubricant going in, but I don't think you can have the lubricant running out again from the other side of the factory. And this is the difficult bit. If I was to take this one and I go there for the express transport belt, I can put that one, it'll run in, but it won't run out again. And I can't I can't split it off to run it out unless I split it up and sideways and over. So I've either got to put a dual system in place, or I'm going to have to do this in a very, very different way to what I've got it right now. I think to start with, we'll get rid of this one. I don't want that one there. That's going to be in the wrong place. So if I remove that one first, how can I do this so that I can supply... Actually, I'm going to remove all of these. I don't want them here, even. We're going to move these over to a new area. I think it just make it a little bit easier. If I go over to... I've got a bigger area here that is going to be easier to work on. All of that piece there, that's all done. I don't actually need to keep that, so I can get rid of that in case I want to expand out over here. For whatever reason, just in case, just remove that lot. Take all of those belts. The rest of them are the construction robots from the site. So they're going to work over there. Right. So first things first, I do need a supply of oil. And I'm going to drop that supply right there. That is where the oil is going to come in. So I am going to go back to here. I'm going to take that active provider chest. It's going to go there. This one here is going to request lubricant barrels. And they are... Where are they? Lubricant barrels. There we go. Lubricant barrels are going to be requested there. I'm actually going to request 100 lubricant barrels. And this one here, the job is going to be emptying lubricant barrels. That is going to be its only task. And I'm not going to worry about anything else. Actually, I'll do what I said before. I'm going to drop in some speed modules in there just so that it can keep up with the demand, because I suspect the demand from this is going to be fairly high. I'm going to drop a power cable in there. And I'll also drop another power cable there to connect it up. So we've got lubricant going in here already, and the robots will take away any barrels and feed them back into the system. That's brilliant. Right, time is going off already. And now this is kind of the tricky bit for me, is exactly how we're going to set this up. I think what we're going to need to do is, if I can put this like this, I want a pipe in. I'm going to have to put a pipe in a line, I think, for this to work. So it's going to end up being a bit different to this. So we'll be taking some of this up again. I'm going to move it over this way. Actually, no. If I put that fairly close, because to start with, it doesn't need to be moved out. I can go like that. Right, what are we at? That's 5 of those. I'm actually going to remove one of them. Let me take my red deconstructor planner there. We'll take those up, and I remove those as well. Right. For this to work properly, I'm going to put the chests on the southern side. I'm going to go like this, here, and put them all together like that. So the requester chest, and so the input and output is all on the same side, if we put that down there like that. So that's the input and output down there. Then if I go to here, and I change it to express belt, right click, left click, and set all of those up there like that, and then I can come back over here and I can set the conditions for this one to be express transport belt less than or equal to, and again I'm going to set this to 5,000. Now it's a lot of belts, but I think it is what we want to have. So we want 5,000 of those, and it's going to require a huge amount of resources to get this up and running, but it does take a while to oops, I set that wrong. I want to do right click on there and then like that. There we go. Right. So that's 5,000 on there. It's going to take a while for the resources to come in to be able to feed all of that, but eventually it will be worth it, because we need 20 iron gear wheels in order for this to run. So for one fast transport belt, I'm simply going to request a stack of fast transport belts in each of these chests, like that. And then we also need 20 iron gear wheels. Now that is quite a big quantity. So in order to make that work, I think we'll go for 500 again. It is a big number. We're using a lot of iron gear wheels, so we're just going to have to sort of be aware of that. It's going to create a bit of drain on all of our resources for a little while. Only for a little while, though. So let me just put those out across all of them. And then finally, it will be the lubricant coming into the top. That's fine. We're not going to worry about that for a minute. Yes, there's 500 going into there. That is all good. That's all good as well. I think I might change that to speed modules in those as well, but we'll see. No, but first of all, I want to take the pipes. Ordinary pipes. I'm not going to put the ones to the ground, and I'm just going to run straight out across. Put you in there, and that one in there. Right, so they're now all operational. We've got all the lubricant and all of the other materials are already in here. Everything is ready. Everything is good to go. I don't actually need to worry about underground pipes quite as much as I did, because I now have the squeak through mod, which is absolutely brilliant. And everybody seemed to think that I should be able to use that without it sort of spoiling anybody's experience. It's a quality of life mod, which, you know, it's basically just to make life a little bit easier so you don't have to do super complicated stuff all the time. Right, so we've got that there. All it's doing is just a little tiny time-saving device. Because of the number of iron gear wheels that have got to come through here, it's actually going to be far better for us to change these over to stack inserters. So we're going to swap each of these over a second to stack inserters like that, and we now have all of this fully operational. If we look in here, it's slowly using this up, and we've got plenty of lubricant coming in. We will have to go and double check on the lubricant again, but I mean, we're building a buffer. We're building up a buffer. Once we reach our target of 5,000 blue express belts, that's These are express transport belts. Once we reach our target of 5,000 of those, we're not going to need to worry about it quite so much, and things will sort of ease back down again. So that's kind of why I like to do it like this. I like to spend a little while building up the target, and then once the target has been reached, everything's pretty good. I think we also want to change these to stack inserters. So let me swap that one over like that, and then that one, and I'll do the same up here, and the same on these. So yeah, you can already see we're low on iron plates, and iron plates are going to be the bit that causes the main issue here. Well, the iron supply in general. So we're going to be running low on the iron gear wheels fairly soon. If I look in here, I had 5,000 iron gear wheels. I've now got none. I can't see iron gear wheels on there. I can't see iron, and I can't see iron ore either. Copper is doing great. We've got loads of copper. But iron is in very short supply right now, so we need to concern ourselves with what we're going to do about that. We'll get to that. That's on our to-do list, but we're not going to worry about it right now. So our next job that we want is actually, we're going to need to set up some more of these. I'm going to set up 2 for the... We got just a couple more bits that we need to do for this, and that is going to be all we got time for this episode. So I'm going to do much the same as I've done over here. I want 2 of each, and I'm going to actually set that in a straight line. It's going to come straight off of here. We'll just do it like this. We'll just go in a straight line all the way off of there. I'm hoping that one factory for the lubricant is going to be enough to provide lubricant for all of these. So let me first take my blueprint removal, my removal print, my red destruction print, and we'll take those off there. So then we can scroll down into here. We want to change that to a stack inserter going up to here like this, and then we want a regular inserter coming out on that side like that, and then finally we want some chests to go down here like this. So we've got those, we've got the requests and the outputs as well. This one here is going to be doing express belts, the underground belts. We're going to be using a lot of those. We're going to be using more of those than we are the splitters. Eventually, these are going to be the only belts that we use for all of our mining stations. This is what we want them for. A couple of episodes ago, we were sort of running into a bit of an issue with this. This is our purpose. This is what we're aiming to get, is to be able to use these for all of our outstations. And that is the whole point of this. Let me just get rid of the... We are doing a fantastic job of polluting this area. Look at the pollution on this. Those biters are not going to be pleased with us at all. So that's the pollution. The red there is the pollution. You start out when you're playing this game, you're not spreading pollution like that. If we were playing with the biters on aggressive, all of this lot would be attacking us continuously, just to be a constant stream of angry biters pouring through trying to kill us. At the moment, they're not. They're fairly happy right now. 8.110 million. You do get some very nice quantities of materials further out. Yeah, we're going to be looking at removing some of this up here fairly soon, and we've got some more iron ore down here. We've got 6.1 million of it over there, and yeah, we're going to want to be getting this into the system. We are running very, very low on iron. That's going to be our priority. I did read in the latest Factorio development thing, they're talking about... Let me just take a look in here a second. So we want 80? Good gravy. Okay, 80 iron gear wheel. 2 fast underground belts. Ooh, how should I do this? I'm not really sure. I think I'm thinking that I just go for 500 again. Although I'm actually thinking that I want enough for 10, so I'll go for 800. Let's do it. Let's just go for 800. And a stack of 50 of those is fine. So we'll just copy that one. Yeah, the latest Factorio development thing. The development blog that they do a Friday Factorio something. FFF it is. Friday Factorio fact sheet. That's what it's called. Yeah, but they were talking about that, and they were actually saying that distribution of ore, because of the way that the game is built at the moment, you do actually end up with slightly more copper than iron. It's not intended. It's actually intended to be exactly the same, but you do end up with slightly more copper than you do iron. But for the game itself, you actually require slightly more iron than you do copper. So that is being tweaked for the next big update. That is going to be altered, so it will the levels will be more appropriate to what you actually need, which is absolutely brilliant. I love the way that they look at these things and tweak everything right down to the tiniest little detail. So what are we going to go for here? We want 100 advanced circuits, 100 iron gear wheels, and 10 fast splitters. So I want the fast splitters there. We'll just go for 50, that's fine. And I want 100 iron gear wheels there. And I also want 100 advanced circuits. I don't need 200 of those. I just need 100 of those. Let me look in here. Yep, 10 and 10. So I've got enough for 10 of each, and then the lubricant will be coming in on the top. So if I take that and I put that one on there as well, it's going to be exactly the same. So then I'm going to start setting up these conditions. So the condition for this one here is we're going to go connect, and it's going to be, we're making those. And this one here, I'm going to set that to less than or equal to, and that is going to be 1,000 of those. I don't think we need any more than that. So we set 1,000 of those. It's going to take us a while to build that up. It is actually going to take a little while to build that up. So we set that to 1,000, and I'll set those two as well, exactly the same, and then I can just simply change that condition to be the splitter instead. I don't think we need that many, actually. I think we could actually change that to just 500 of those. I think that would be more than enough. So I think we might actually do that. That would be a more sensible approach, I think. So we set those to 500, the splitters. I'm going to leave the underground belts at 1,000, though. I didn't mean to do that. I need to, you change it down, and then you click set, like that. Right. Yeah, I don't want the underground belts being any less than 1,000, because I'm going to be changing the way that I'm setting the mining drills up, so that I get, hopefully, each patch will be mined out faster. I want it to be mined out as fast as possible. I don't want to have to be waiting at all for any of it to be made. So at the moment we have some underground belts. We've got 2 express underground belts made, and we've got quite a few express transport belts have now been made. The big thing that we're going to be waiting on for this whole system now, I guarantee you, is going to be iron gear wheels. So our next big issue, we've set everything. We've got it all running. Everything is now running. We can now choose to have red undergrounds, red splitters. We can go for blues all the way. I want ultimately to run blue. I want to run blue for everything. The express belts on all of it. That's my aim here, is to run express belts. So if we look over here, we're desperate for iron, right? They're coming in and they're pushing the iron as fast as they possibly can. But we don't have enough iron coming into the system. The iron is definitely an issue on the system here. I've got some queues waiting around here and here, but the queues aren't actually very big. Here's the queues all around here. I have got loads of roboports here, and I do not have enough. So I'm going to throw down another 5 just here. If I move that, I'm going to try and put those in line with these. I'm actually in the way. There we go. I'll drop down another 5. That's an instant upgrade. I should get a few just come whizzing into me in just a minute, and I'll put another 4 down here. You need a lot of roboports to keep this many robots running. You really do. Okay, we'll worry about that later. And I just want to run up here and take a look at our new train system that we've got running up here. We've got coal pouring in now. Our system here is starting to fill up. We're filling up several of these chests. I'm going to want a bigger storage area, but now that I've got this whole squick through mod running, I can actually fill in all of the gaps in between. It will mean that I will have to keep squick through to keep everything running smoothly. But yeah, we've got plenty of space. And we got 520. The idea of this is, of course, to just remove these ore patches. I want to remove all of the ore up here, and I want to remove all of this. All of these ores I want gone. I just want to completely extract them so that I can then start building over them. I absolutely detest building over ore. It's a personal bug of mine. I know some people will just build right over the top of the ore, like the inhuman monsters that you are. How could you do that? No, I can't do that. I definitely cannot build over the top of the orb. Anyway, I have run out of time for today. So in next week's episode, we're going to go back to up here. We're going to go back up here, and we're going to start setting up some stations around these patches up here. We're going to focus first on these 3 with the iron ore in them, and we'll also get that stone extracted. and we'll add in some extra tracks so that we can add in some more stations and stuff, and we get some more trains running. We might also have to alter our station over here. Eventually we'll sort of move the whole station. I think we'll put the station up here somewhere, maybe. I'm not quite sure, but when we start going out further and further and further, we're going to be really expanding on the station so that we can be unloading like 20-30 trains all at a time. At the moment, we're not going to worry about that. So yeah, in next week's episode, we will be trying to get these patches up here all covered in miners and hopefully starting to be extracted. And we can hopefully also start laying out our blueprint for using the blue underground belts and the blue belts and so on. But yeah, we desperately need more iron in the system right now. That's the bit that's sort of holding us back. So if you enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. But until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.